Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode, we have one Betfred Championship game that survived the wicked weather, and we have a look at Super League game between Salford Red Devils and Toulouse. So we'll begin with the fixtures around the country, as there was only 5 rugby league games in the top 2 divisions going to be played on this Sunday, but we're in the middle of Storm Eunice even, and there has been a few games taken away as 2 out of 5 went ahead, while Salford and York's games still went ahead. Workington's game was called off very late, about an hour before kickoff, in their preparations to face Halifax Panthers due to safety grounds. But yesterday Batley Bulldogs called off their game with Sheffield Eagles, and so did Bradford Bulls. All these games will be rescheduled in due course, so please keep an eye on your club's listings to find out when they are. Even though they were playing away, the storm has caused many issues for Barrow Raiders due to the severe winds, and damage has occurred at the stadium, and it's got to such a depth that a GoFundMe page has been set up in looking for aid for the issues that have gone on. Here are a couple of pictures of the marquee outside of Barrow, as they Barrow's Furnace Park, as this was all set up to help with funding the club, and helps boost attendances by having a social area for fans to gather in before the game. In a statement on their GoFundMe page, the person who set this up, Leigh Scar, is organising this fundraiser, wanting to thank so many of the people that took time out of the day to help out. A working party of volunteers salvaged as much as we could while dodging flying debris. Once Eunice had subsided, the cleanup began. The club were amazed at the number of supporters who turned up in the rain and the snow to help with this. Support from local businesses, free skips, diggers, tea, coffee and bacon buns. A few hours hard work and the site was made safe. Now it's time to rebuild a permanent structure. The supporters trust want to help with this as much as we can, so we are asking for your help. We have parties booked for many in the town: Paddy Fest, Tribute Fest, Cider Fest, all of which would bring in much needed revenue. Every donation you make, no matter how big or small, will be gratefully received. It will be a 6-figure sum to get back to where we were, however, and every penny will go towards getting us back up and running and look to a more permanent solution for the future. So in the frame you'd see the GoFundMe page, just type that in and you'll be directed to it. I'll also post it in the comments, in the description for this video, and so any help that you guys can help with the Barrow Raiders will be much appreciated. So in the only Super League game that was played today, we see Salford Red Devils host Toulouse Olympique in their first Super League away match. There'll be a lot of firsts for Toulouse, and hopefully they'll be looking for their first win in this game today. After flying over early in the morning, just before the blustery conditions, they are going to get a shell shock in this weather, as it is a gale. It's raining, it's been snowing yesterday, it's freezing cold. Don't forget, last year they played every single home game in France and couldn't play away. Now, it's going to be a culture shock for them, and it's going to be a shock to the systems in that weather. And here are the teams that have been picked for the event. So for the home team, first of all, there's only one change to the starting lineup as King Vuniyayawa gets promoted from the subs bench in place of Sitoleki Yakuwala. But on the bench, there has been changes as Dan Sargentson comes in instead of Sam Luckley, and Matt Costello drops out as well for Alex Gerrard. Now for the away side, looking at the team, as Bergal drops out of the starting 17, it's Chris Hankinson who replaces him in the backs, with Joseph Parlow being promoted from the bench to go into the halves. Mitch Garbutt comes into the 17 in place of Dominic Pereira, who drops out of the 17 also, while Lloyd White and Roman Navarre support him. Joe Breverton drops back from prop to second row, but otherwise it's as you were, as Palacier, Justine Sangare and Maxime Puech all are on the bench, but Anthony Marion joins the bench also in his first appearance of the season. So as we start the first half, it doesn't take long for Salford to get over the try line, as winger Ken Seo slides over in the right corner to put Salford in front after a neat grubber from Mark Sneed. And the second try didn't come too long after, and it was for Ken Seo as well on the 11th minute. Brodie Cross danced his way through the middle of the Toulouse pack, sprinting 40 metres before he's forced to offload to Seo, who crashes over in the right corner once more. It's all one-way traffic at this point, but Mark Sneed hasn't brought his kicking boots with him, and we're into the early stages of the first half and it's only 8-0, despite 2 tries from the Salford winger. Salford made it 3 tries after 18 minutes, after Salford broke down the left wing with Joe Burgess, who sets up Ryan Briley to dive over untouched under the sticks. Sneed makes no mistake with this kick to extend the lead to 14 points to 0 in such blustery conditions. Next, it was the turn of Mark Sneed to get in on the tries. Salford see Sneed skip through the middle of the Toulouse defence and slide over just left of the sticks. He converts his own try to make it 20 points to 0 to the Salford Red Devils on the 24th minute. Then it seemed like Toulouse started getting hold of the conditions as they decided to produce, they've started to produce some consistency, some momentum, and just before half time there's a try for Toulouse as Chris Hankinson pops up for the French team's first try of the season. It comes from a Joseph Paulo kick to the right corner, which Hankinson drops on for the score. Hankinson also adds the extras, and it's 20 points to 6, which remains the score line as the teams close out the first half. So we enter the second half, and we do not have to wait too long for the first points of the half to be scored. And 5 minutes into the second half, we see that the former Saintsman Paulo goes in for a try of his own. Paulo crashes over just right of the sticks after getting on the end of a Tony Gigot grubber kick, which Hankinson converts for a 20 points to 12 scoreline. A few minutes later, on the 52nd minute, it's Salford's first try of the half, as Sneed sends a high ball out to the right hand side, and the left edge of Toulouse fumble the ball forward. The loose ball is scooped up by Vuniyayawa, and he just simply sets up Tim Leigh to get on the scoring as he crashes over. Sneed adds the 2 to make it 26 points to 12 in Salford's favour. Not long after that though, about 17 minutes to be fair, it's a try again for Salford. Brodie Croft sends a grubber through the Toulouse defensive line that Ken Seo is able to get a toe on the right edge, so he can dot down for his hat-trick. Sneed takes the 4-pointer and makes it a 6-pointer with the conversion, and now it's 32 points to 12 to the Salford Red Devils. But on the 74th minute, there's another try scored, and it comes off the back of some great work by Toulouse as they're throwing everything at Salford to give themselves a bit of confidence going into their next game. But unfortunately, it was a Ken Seo typical fashion try, as the number 2 intercepts a Toulouse pass to run almost the entirety of the pitch for his 4th try of the game. Sneed adds the 2 to make it 38 points to 12, which in the wintry, blistery, Hurricane Eunice fueled event sees the Salford Red Devils finish the game with that scoreline of 38 points to 12. So my thoughts on the game? Well, Salford are keeping up the momentum, and that's what momentum brings you. Confidence, good scoring, plus with a Toulouse side who are still a little bit shell-shocked in the standard between the Championship and Super League, it means that they will have to pick themselves up and go again next time and show the fight and heart that they did either side of half time. They have to play that a full 80, otherwise they will be the ones that will finish bottom, which will throw my prediction right out of the window. Salford, with a potent strike weapon that they have in Ken Seo, and Brodie Croft and Mark Sneed throwing the ball about as playmakers, there is a potential of them doing some damage. Couple of injuries though may see the Salford side, not being the biggest squad, drop down the league. Toulouse are all about, they need something to spark them, whether it's a fullback, which they're able to look for now that they say Mark Corella will never play for Toulouse again. They reiterated that with Sylvain Hules today. But that's my scouting report. The Salford have got some potent strike weapons. Burgess hasn't got on the scoring yet in the 2 games. He's just fleet of foot and everyone supports him. NCO on the other side is always a magnificent finisher. He wasn't last season's top try scorer in a struggling side, mind you, to keep Salford in an even keel. So now we go back into the Championship, where York City Knights hosted Leigh Centurions. Centurions, who have just come off a win last Monday night against Bradford Bulls at 38 points to 4, and have 2 wins and 1 defeat so far. York City Knights, well, they won last time out on Sunday, 10 points to 4 away at informed Batley, so they were starting to get some momentum. I think they're on 2-1 as well. So, who's starting for who? And with that, here's the York team. So we find that there are 3 changes in the York squad, and both come in the starting, and they all come in the starting lineup basically. As Matty Marsh drops to fullback, as Miles Harrison drops out of the 13 altogether. James Clegg comes in to the starting lineup for Logan, who also drops out. That means Liam Harris comes in at standoff, but it's as you were elsewhere, with Bolly, big hitter, on the bench. For Leigh, there's 6 changes in the 17, as Atta Hingano starts as Aaron Smith misses out on the 17. Marchione comes off the bench in place of Joe Wardle. Tom Naisbitt comes into the 17 in place of John Asiata, while Saints loanee Jay Wigfield as well as Edwin Ipape and Jacob Jones, are all added to the bench. So on we go to the first half, and it is a blustery, windy, rainy conditioned game for the first 14 minutes. But Stone gets Leigh into the 30 of the York City Knights, and the visitors are awarded a penalty for a high tackle. Leigh opt to take the kick for goal and will attempt just 20 metres out slightly to the right, which Ben Reynolds kicks for the opening scores, 2-0 to Leigh. On the 22nd minute, York gets a penalty within 10 metres and Chris Clark takes the first tackle. Massi Matonga goes centrally and Ron and Michael comes to run across the grain, but is met well. Higano tackles Jordan Thompson well as also, but on the last, Liam Harris's grubber is caught by the centre, but he loses it in the tackle, and it is the opening score for York City Knights as Will Jubb goes in for the first try. Jamie Ellis attempts the conversion, but unfortunately he misses out this time. As the wind picks up, Leigh are pinged for being offside, so Ellis goes for another 2, but unfortunately the wind catches it and it goes out, missing the target for a dropout to Leigh, which they are able to drop out for Leigh back to York. Unfortunately, it doesn't come to anything. The territory, it just fizzles out. And we come to the 32nd minute as Neil McDonald carries the ball into the 30-metre line of York City Knights. Norman is well met and wins Leigh a penalty, with the ref deeming the Knights guilty of a tip tackle on Norman. But what do Leigh do in this weather? They go for the 2. Reynolds adds the 2, so it's 4-all. Mellor then kicks to touch on another penalty on the 40th minute, roughly, coming up to half time, and Norman gets Leigh within 20 metres, but the ball is stolen in the tackle according to the referee, and Leigh go for the kick again and look to take the lead just before the break. And as the hooter sounds, Reynolds adds the 2 for a 4-6 lead. Leigh started to get in control in another blustery conditions match. The half-time hooter did come at a good time for the York City Knights, as Leigh was starting to get some momentum together. So we come into the second half, and it is Leigh who gets on the board again for the first try of them for the game. Gap presents itself for Leigh, and Sam Stone goes over at close range, with Reynolds kicking his 4th goal of the afternoon and his first conversion to extend Leigh's lead. Leigh Centurions go in once more just after 49th minute, as Joe Mellor's grubber bounces favourably for Reynolds, and the halfback grounds despite Knight's defensive retention. Reynolds converts his own try, and Leigh extend the lead by 14 to 4 points to 18. Once more, Leigh are back in, as from the scrum, Mellor shrugs off tackles to get within York's 10-metre line, where Wingfield goes close before being held up. Sidlow offloads in the tackle to Impape, who goes close. Edwin Impape is hauled up over the line. When Leigh go back to the 10-metre line to restart continue the tackle count, the visitors go left, and Caleb Aiken is able to shrug off the defence again, grounding the ball in the corner to extend the lead of the Centurions. Reynolds misses this conversion, his first missed kick of the day, with 4 points to 22 for the away team. Sidlow gets Leigh into the York half on the 64th minute with a great carry. Iona continues and runs into the 40. Stone takes the ball off Mellor, and then with the momentum continuing, gets into the York 20. Reynolds reads Mellor's grubber kick after this and gathers the ball to touchdown under the sticks, which he converts, so making it 4 points to 28, as well as personal tally up to, if I can do my maths correctly, 18 plus 6 equals 24. 24 of the 28 points for Leigh were done by Ben Reynolds. When York decide to kick off a short kick, but Jamie Ellis's kick-off is caught by Clare, but the centre is forced into touch. Leigh start with the ball just inside their own 40, but not too long afterwards, Mellor's last tackle grubber is deep within the York half and is gathered by Chamberlain. The winger grounds and extends the visitors' lead. Ed Chamberlain scores his first try after that wonderful pass last week. Reynolds converts, and it's now 4 points to 34. At this point, you can tell which way it's going to go next, as Armoni gets the visitors into the York 10 once again. The ball goes loose, and Ipape is the first to it. He is then tackled 10 metres further back. On the last though, Mellor chips over the top and goes over for another Centurions try, which once more Reynolds converts. And that is the final score as the final who to win, and we see the scoring ending: York 4, Leigh Centurions 40. Ben Reynolds was the man of the match, definitely, with his total points haul of 28 points of the 40 on show for Leigh Centurions. But it was quite tough going with the weather and the changes, but a superb surface that York were playing on. Leigh are now on 3 wins out of their 4 games, while York City seem to be enjoying life in the league, but need to pick up a few more results, as they are currently on 2 wins from 4 games, having lost the other 2. A minus 20 points scored points difference, that's the words we're looking for, might put pay to York's ambitions to be in the Super League club. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also click that notification bell with any stories that may be coming your way from the channel. I know there was only 2 games today, but there was only 2 games played on Sunday. A Super League game and a Championship game. I give them my best on everything. Told you what was going on, who were the scorers. Hopefully it was enough for you in today's episode. If you can, please follow that Barrow story. And also, if you can, support them as best as you can. The GoFundMe page is above me. So, please, do what you can to support Rugby League. And it may not be your team, but we need all the teams that we can get so that we can get a competitive sport. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide with your friends, with anyone, and bring up some talking points. You think Salford are going to be thereabouts, or will they fall away with a couple of injuries? York City Knights, are they too much hype at this early stage of their programme with the new stadium last year built and the way that, and the model that they're using to fund their team? Don't know. We'll have to see as the season plays out. When the summer bash comes along, we'll be able to see where they are stood. Anyway, thank you for watching. Stay safe. All the best. And I'll see you in the next episode.